You're listening to a Weeby Geeks Network podcast.
The Dining at Disney podcast. The Dining at Disney podcast. Your ultimate source about the wonderful world of dining at the Disneyland and Walt Disney World resorts.
If you are what you eat, then I only want to eat the good stuff.
Kristen Hetzel-Go and Jay Bratton are your guides on this culinary adventure.
We'll prepare and serve with flair a culinary cabaret.
Join them as they discuss the latest food news, expert tips, recommendations, and trip planning advice related to Disney food and dining. From quick service to fine dining, you will discover all the best restaurants and food as they hungrily explore the Disney parks.
It brings folks together from all walks of life.
The Dining at Disney podcast. And now, your host, Kristen Hetzel-Go and Jay Bratton.
Welcome to another episode of the Dining at Disney podcast, your ultimate source for delicious discussion about dining at Disneyland and Disney World. I'm your host, Kristen, and with me is Jay. Today, we've got a few different news stories that are taking place at Disneyland, including the $300 Jungle Cruise Sunrise Breakfast, and a few things at Walt Disney World, including the opening date of Morimoto Asia. But before we get into all that, we'd like to thank you for downloading the show on iTunes, streaming it on Stitcher, or watching the webcast on YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe to our feeds. And don't forget, we love it when you share with your friends. One way that you can help us and support the show is by shopping our affiliate links, which you see on the site. We've got the Disney Store, Garden Grocer, Jelly Belly. You can also pick up Dining Guide, which we're going to be talking a little bit about the newest dining guide for the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. So let's go ahead and get into our appetizers. Okay, Jay, tell us about what kind of news you have for Disneyland.
Well, we're wrapping up summer, so we got some fall treats coming up soon here, and also some dining experiences, which is pretty interesting. The first bit of news has to do with new treats that are coming to the resort, and these are toffee. Well, they classify as gourmet toffee treats. They say that this is it's returning back to Disneyland. I did some research into this, and they did have the toffee treats before, but it actually was only one treat. It was the apple. So, which is good. I mean, which is fine. You know, I mean, I'm glad they're bringing it back. Obviously, it was popular enough to do so. But this time around, instead of just the apple, they decided to go ahead and go do the full shebang here. You know, they've got the marshmallow wand. They've got the little Mickey shaped crisp treat. And then also they're creating a special mix to create a bark, basically. Essentially, the bark is the same as the other ones. Just the only difference is that it doesn't have the caramel. But all of them are going to be, coated with caramel, then chocolate, and then sprinkled with toffee bits and pieces of almond. So it's pretty standard, but it's good nonetheless. And I really enjoy the English toffee that they have at the Candy Palace. Have you had their English
I have
toffee? Not.
Okay.
Next time you go to Disneyland and you see them making the English toffee, you have to get it and ask. Go inside to the Candy Palace, one of the cast members there at the register, and just be really, really nice and say, "Hey, do you think there's any way I can get some of that English toffee from the show kitchen?" And more often than not, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, we'll take care of it," and they go pop into the kitchen and grab a package, as long as it's cool enough. That's one sort of caveat, is that if the product is too warm, then it'll ruin it if you close up the bag too soon. So that's the reason why you have to sort of time it correctly. And then if they say, well, it's too warm, if the cooks in the kitchen are saying, well, it's not ready, then just say, hey, can I swing by in an hour or two or something like that? And then they should tell you, yeah, sure, no problem. But I tell you, there is a difference between the ones that they have on the shelf and the ones that you get fresh from the kitchen. It's the candy, the toffee piece has not sort of blended with the other ingredients, so it's very crisp, and so it has that snap. And then also the fresh roasted almonds too, as well, because they haven't been sitting in the chocolate coating for too long, they haven't had an opportunity to soften up, so you get that just crunch almond. It's just perfect. I love that's. I would say of all the snacks, that's probably my favorite at Disneyland.
Wow.
The sweet snacks, I should say.
Yeah.
I like other snacks as well. But regardless, that's kind of a little side note. Anyhow, as far as the gourmet toffee treats that are coming to Disneyland, well, actually, they're already here because it's running through the entire month of September. And then next on the list of news items, want to talk about the Jungle Cruise dining experience, or they call it the Jungle Cruise Sunrise Breakfast. And you can check out the entire story on our website, the diningatdisney.com, and we'll put a link to the show notes as well, in the show notes, I should say. But this is an interesting one. I know you've read it, Kristen, and for the people who haven't read it, basically it's $300 per person, and there's no annual pass holder discount, or no discounts of any kind, in fact. And it includes breakfast, and then you get to be a skipper, an unofficial skipper on one of the Jungle Cruise boats. So apparently on select days, they'll have this going on around 6:30 in the morning. You get there at least half hour before. The check-in is at this Disney Grand California Hotel and Spa, so be aware of that. It's not at the park, not inside the ride, because Disneyland doesn't open that early. So you'll have to go to the Grand California Hotel and Spa. And once you check in, now here's where the vague part is. They say that, well, they're going to serve you breakfast at the Jungle Cruise African Veld. Okay. I've never heard of this. Have you, Kristen?
I have not, no.
Okay. So, so that's kind of one of those weird things that I'm not sure if they're going to check people in and then go over to Disneyland, to the Disneyland park, and then maybe set up something at Aladdin's Oasis, or if they're just going to get one of the ballrooms and convert that over and make, some like hot trays and stuff like that. My guess is they'll probably have it at the Grand Californian ballroom, one of the ballrooms there. What do you think?
I don't know. I think they should do it in the park because that would be so much cooler.
I know. Well, no, here's what I say. They should be serving that freaking breakfast on the ship, on one of the boats itself, and they should have a server, and they should be giving you silverware with champagne.
Right?
For $300? Are you kidding me? And, I'm not trying to poo-poo this whole experience here, but if you read the ingredients, the list of, not ingredients, the list of dishes that they're going to be serving, they use all these like fancy words. It's like, oh, they're going to do pan-seared sausage and, something, marinated bacon and, like something else with, wonderful fluffy eggs or something. But really, if you kind of break it down, it's eggs, bacon, sausage, potato and onion hash, and then fruit and a parfait. So, yeah, $300 for that? I don't know.
I think everybody who's going to do it is going to say $300 is worth it for a chance for me to get to be a skipper and go through the spiel on a boat.
Right. Well, here's the thing. How is that going to work with so many guests? Are they each going to pilot their own craft? And then when they give their spiel, like, who is going to give them the lines, or, or are they all going together on, like, let's say 10 to a boat or something along those lines. And then each person, gets a small segment or something, so, I mean, you're really not piloting it for the entire attraction throughout the entire attraction. I don't think. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
how
they've got enough boats that you could probably, and it's probably not going to be that they're going to allow a lot of people to do it at one time. So say you go with 15 guests, you could take, a few of those boats out and, say you do 3 or 4 people per boat, and you each go through the attraction once.
Yeah, the
and get to
logistics of
say it, and then
it doesn't say how many people are going to be allowed on each of these bookings. There's no information about that. So who knows? I mean, again, honestly, if I won the lottery, I would have no issues with this. But I'm not, I'm not balling out of control. You know what I'm saying? So this is something that's going to be beyond my capabilities to do. For the people who can do it, hey, you know what? More power to you, and I hope you enjoy yourself. And I really think that it will be something very special and entirely unique. And I would love to hear about it. I mean, really, I if someone's got photos or someone shoots a video or something like that, please send us the information, because I'd be happy to write up a story on your behalf or whatever. Or if you want to write up a story, that kind of thing. I mean, we'd love to hear about it, honestly. So So, anyways, I mean, that's my thoughts on it. I kind of feel it's not worth it in terms of the food or the dining experience itself. But being a Jungle Cruise skipper, obviously for some people, I think that it would be definitely worthwhile, and for me, not so much.
I'd much rather dine in the Haunted Mansion.
I agree. The Haunted Mansion, Parts of the Caribbean. Well, Parts of the Caribbean, though, one of the things about that attraction is the scent of the water. It's not the most pleasant scent, so therefore I'm not sure if it's necessarily conducive to that. I mean, the Blue Bayou is offset from the attraction, so you don't really have that thing. But I mean, if you're inside in the midst of the attraction itself, I don't know, if that'd be really nice, and then plus, like, if you're dining on the boat, it's like you got the little waterfalls, so that's going to be a little bit problematic.
The first drop down, I was sitting up front and got just soaked, and I was like, okay, it's a good thing that I've got, another shirt underneath my white top, because it is now see-through. Like, I've never gotten this, I mean, it just came all on me.
Wow.
And my friend Taylor was sitting next to me. She's like, I'm dry. I'm like, I'm not.
Next thing, just a small bit of news. It's not really news so much. Basically, I wrote up a nice little dining review about the Alfresco tasting terrace. I mentioned this in either the last episode or the episode before that. So I did my formal write-up of it, and if you want to check it out, go to the diningatdisney.com website, and you can just click on the review. Then the last little bit of news, and this is for Halloween, and I'm excited about it, but I'm excited about it, but it's also one of those cost-prohibitive type events. Essentially what we're talking about is the Mystical Spirits of the Blue Bayou premium dining experience, and this will take place at the Blue Bayou restaurant, obviously, because it's in the title. This is going to be a 3-course dinner, and they've got an appetizer, main course, and then dessert. And I won't read you the entire list of items that are going to be available. You can check it out on our website. Now, I found this pretty interesting. They're going to have a live band there, and then they're going to have a guy that dresses up as Dr. Facilier from The Princess and the Frog, and he's going to go around and entertain all the guests. And according to the Disney Parks blog website, they had indicated, he's going to make them die with laughter or something along those lines. Maybe that's not it, verbatim, but he essentially is going to go around and provide some comedy. And I don't know, I would think would be cool is he should do some magic tricks or something,
Oh, yeah.
They didn't say that he was going to do magic, but that would be kind of cool to do some card tricks and things like that. Then they're, like I said, they're also going to have live band there. They are also providing a souvenir. It's a lithograph, and it's designed by Eric Goldberg, who's a famous Disney animator. Like his list of work is just really comprehensive. I put a link to his wiki on the website as well, so you can check that out. But anyhow, he's doing this special piece of art for this event. So I'm not sure what it is. They don't have a picture of it, but I'm sure it's going to look nice, and it'll be worth a lot on eBay, I'm sure, as well. So then the last thing, and I think actually one of the most cool things about this whole premium dining experience, is that you get reserved seating for the fireworks show. The Halloween Screams fireworks spectacular. They put a place where you can actually sit down, and you have like a perfect viewing spot to take in the show. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now all this does come with the cost, of course. It's $150 per person, and again, no AP discounts, no discounts of any kind. Now, here's the other thing. There's another catch to this whole $150 price point, is the fact that you also have to be you have to buy admission to the Mickey's Halloween party as well, and that is an additional $69. So yes, it's $150, but you also have to spend an extra $69 just to get into the Halloween party itself, since it's a hard ticket event.
It's technically $220.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's, again, on the pricey side. Personally, I was thinking, my wife and I, we've been to the Halloween party before in the past. We've been actually to both the one at DCA and Disneyland. I like the one at DCA better personally, but regardless, the one at Disneyland was nice. But for $69, I just didn't feel I was getting my money's worth. Of course, we do get an AP discount with that price though. So I'm not. I think it's like 15 or 20% off. I'm not positive. I'll have to look that up. But regardless, I just didn't feel that it was worth the extra admission price for what you're getting. I mean, basically you get like a unique fireworks show and like a small little parade and a bunch of candy, and I don't know. I just, that's why I was disinclined to go this year. But when I saw this dining event, I was like, well, I don't know, because I'm a sucker for these dining events. I went to the Tahitian Terrace luau, the Diamond Luau. So I thought that, this might be interesting as well, but I don't know. I just can't get over that the fact that I have to pay an additional cost to get into the Halloween party itself as well.
Why not just come up with a price to go includes admission, because you're going to have to pay for that anyway. So why not set it up as being an inclusive package? It includes your ticket.
Right.
Because everybody has to pay. It's a hard ticket event. It's not, you must purchase park admission. Well, you're an annual pass holder. That doesn't matter. But it matters when it comes to a hard ticket event, then everybody has to purchase tickets. And that's what seems like they should have found a better way to, to package that. Rather than, hey, buy a ticket for this and this. Right.
I agree with you. So, that's pretty much it. Those are the 4 news items for Disneyland Resort. And so what's going on at Disney World?
Well, this one isn't necessarily a park-related thing, but it is something Disney-related. And it's the Star Wars-themed Campbell soup cans. Have you seen these?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. So they have 6 Campbell soup cans. You have Yoda, Chewie, C-3PO, and R2-D2. And both of those in the background, you see the Rebel Alliance logo. And then you have a Stormtrooper in Darth Vader, and the Imperial logo is behind them. And it's
Interesting.
Star Wars like shaped noodles. It's chicken noodle soup.
So these are going to be sold at all stores everywhere. I mean, it's not just like, okay, cool. I
Yeah,
just,
like
sometimes,
Target and all
they
that kind
do
of
like
stuff.
special food merchandise that you can only get at, Disneyland parks or,
Yeah.
online or something like that. And then this this is obviously is going to be available everywhere. So that's cool. Yeah, it looks, I'll be honest. I mean, I like Star Wars. I mean, I was, when I was a kid when it came out. I was actually alive, when it first came out, and I mean, it blew my mind.
The original trilogy.
The original trilogy, uncut, no digital enhancements by George Lucas or anything. I mean, and I actually saw it in an actual movie theater, not, not on DVD, not on Blu-ray, not on VHS. Well, I did see them on all those mediums as well. But, I did see it as a first run experience, as a child. And I mean, I love it. I love the original trilogy and stuff like that. But, I have never gotten into the whole universe of Star Wars, because, I mean, the whole canon is just immense. Is I was going to say expansive and then immense at the same time. So that's where I came up with the immense. Yeah, one of those made up words. Anyhow, yeah, it's such a I mean, there's so many like offshoots of it, or like just like prequels and like backstories to all the characters, and I mean, it's great for the people who are into that. I've never gotten into it, and when I again, I love the movies, but when I also when I was growing up is I watched Star Trek, and so I'm actually more of a Trekkie than I am a Star Wars guy.
Aljon is both.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, he likes, I mean, Marvel comic books. I mean, he's into all of it.
That's
to me,
cool.
It's just too much to keep up with. But
Yeah.
You're right about Star Wars. You've got the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, and now you're going to get another trilogy coming out. You have Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and you have now what is it? Star Wars Rebels.
Right.
All that being canon. Then you have these books and these comic books, and everything is so in depth of like, oh, this is the reason so and so has this colored lightsaber and blah 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 blah. And it's too much for me. I can't keep up with all that.
Yeah,
I'm
I
lucky.
agree.
I'm lucky I can remember that, Ahsoka has a green lightsaber and a yellow lightsaber, and one is shorter than the other. So I don't need the story behind it because I'm not going to remember any of it.
That's more than I know.
That's because I also, like I said, Alton watches all those. He
Sure.
watched the Clone Wars, and he watches Star Wars Rebels. I've seen one episode of Rebels, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't have enough time for all these TV shows that, like my parents are always like, oh, hey, you need to watch this show. I'm like, I don't have time for that show. There's not enough hours in the day for me to watch all that. So I only catch it if I'm doing something in the house and he's watching it. Let's see. Other news. Now I've got some park news, and one of them is Morimoto Asia will be opening on September 30th. It's going to be Pan-Asian cuisine. It's going to highlight the flavors of China, Korea, Thailand, and Japan. Some of the menu items will include mushu pork, Peking duck, lobster, chow fun, sweet and sour crispy whole fish, and spicy kung pao chicken. They're going to have brunch on the weekends, which will have dim sum that'll be available for that. There will also be a sushi bar, but it has very, very limited seating. There's only 14 seats for that. But select sushi platters and specialty rolls will be available for those that are unable to get a seat at the sushi bar. They're going to have several beers that are going to be from Asia. Some of them are including the collector's edition of Imperial Pilsner Morimoto Soba Ale, Black Obi Soba, as well as he actually has beers with Rogue Ales. So those are also going to be there as well, which I have tried that. Swan and Dolphin, when they do their Food and Wine Classic last year for their Beer Please seminar, had the Rogue Ale that he has, and it was really good. So I'm excited for those beverages. Let's see. Reservations. They're going to be available on Open Table, and that's going to be starting on the 16th. Now you can call 407-838-MOTO, which is 6686, and make reservations over the phone, and that's going to start on September 30th. But if you're wanting to book through Disney Dining by calling 407-WDW-DINE, you have to wait till November 1st. So there's 3 different reservations dates. But if you're wanting to make a reservation as soon as possible, the one to remember, I think it's going to cost 2 table service credits for those who are on the Disney dining plan. It doesn't say, Disney doesn't state how many, just that it's going to take the Disney dining plan. But I'm imagining this is going to be, like you said, $4 signs. So it would only make sense for it to take 2 table service credits.
Now, I'm a little confused. Okay, so basically there's multiple ways to make reservations on this system or at this restaurant, correct?
Yeah, because it's not owned by Disney.
I see. So, so basically you can book through either Disney Dining or call to the restaurant or go through Open Table, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how are they going to work that out logistically? Like, if somebody makes a reservation on Open Table or whatever, I mean, is that going to show on the Disney dining reservation system, or are they just going to allocate so many reservations per method, or I'm not sure.
It must somehow all link together.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think. I think Natalie from Meet the Magic was telling me that she used Open Table for Yak and Yeti, maybe. But I know she uses it to book her stuff, because apparently, like, you can get points to save money on your dining, something along the lines of that. So she uses Open Table. But I think it's gonna all have to connect to the same system, so that whatever system it is, it tells it this time's no longer available. So I think in order for it to work, you would have to have all 3 systems talk to each other, which is probably why it's taking until November 1st for all of the systems to be able to be used. That only makes sense to me.
That's cool.
And then the other bit of news that I have is the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party treats. Did you look at these?
I did.
These are so cute. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to go just to get these little treats. I like the monster cupcake with its green frosting and its little eyes and little, like, what it looks like is the monster cupcake looks like somebody took Dracula and what's his name, Frankenstein, and put them together, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was going to add one more, a wolf, one of the Wolfmen or something like that. So it's like a mix of the 3 most famous characters on from vintage horror movies.
Yes. Let's see. They also have one that's called a spider cupcake, and it's chocolate. It looks like it's got sugar, like orange sugar on top. Nice and chocolatey. Of course, they've got Halloween cookies that has, the little sprinkles that you see, at party shops and stuff for when you're having a little Halloween party that's like white, orange, and black that they sprinkle on them. But then you can have it turned into an ice cream cookie sandwich.
Yeah, and then the next one is the soft serve. I don't mean to interrupt your story here, but I had to just kind of say something about it because it kind of looks very interesting. I've never seen anything like it before, and I'm just wondering if you actually tried it. And that's the soft serve ice cream, the candy corn flavored soft serve ice cream.
They've never had that before.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's new. I've never seen them have that before, and it looks really good. I'm like, oh, candy corn flavored.
I know. And the thing is that it actually has candy corn bits in there, or that's what it says. It says filled with candy corn. So that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I can't imagine, like, oh my gosh, you would be bouncing off the walls. As much sugar that's in candy corns.
Oh, yeah. But that's all right. That's, as long as you limit yourself to like 3, then you're all right. No, just kidding.
I want the candy corn cotton candy because that just looks fun.
Yeah. Okay. Here's.
They all taste the same. I know, but I just like the fact that it's colored like.
Well, I know that's the
candy.
thing is that I was really disappointed. A couple years ago, they had touted that they had the candy corn cotton candy at Big Thunder Ranch in the Big Thunder Ranch area. And I was like, oh gosh, I mean, that's the my wife, when she saw it, she loves that as well. She loves the unique cotton candy flavors and things. And so we went over there. I mean, just made it a point to go over there just to get the cotton candy, that candy corn cotton candy. And when we ate it, we we're like, what? What? There's no candy corn flavor in this. It's just regular cotton candy. Darn it! I mean, it looks like they put little, food coloring on it, but that's it. And I was kind of upset about that, honestly, because that's, to me, false advertisement.
Yeah, because you would think that it would taste like it, especially when you're calling it candy corn cotton candy.
Yeah, well, exactly. And then, but here's the thing that I was reading on this news article. It says that there's orange pina colada and then the original sugar flavored cotton candy. So I don't know. I mean, do they have orange flavored and pina colada flavored cotton candy at Disney World?
No.
I mean, they don't have it at Disneyland.
No, I didn't even know the cake could no, didn't know about that.
Well, I've had flavored cotton candy before, but not that. So
yeah, to me, it's always either like pink or blue, and I always pick the one that I can find where they changed out the colors as they were making them, and they're purple. I'm like, that's the one I want. I want the purple one. I'll just like, it all tastes the same. I was like, I don't care. I want it because it's purple. The other thing that I saw in here that I thought was cute is the ghost cupcake.
Yeah.
It has chocolate sandwich, cookie crumbs, and a marshmallow ghost. I think that's just a cute idea. Yeah,
it is. I like the marshmallow ghost is definitely very clever.
That seems to me something that a lot of kids would want. That and, the monster cupcake.
Right, of course.
And that's all they need at night, right? All that sugar bouncing off the walls.
Sure.
Keep them going till almost midnight when they're all going to crash, and now mom and dad have to carry them all up to the room.
There you go.
And then the last thing, which is not necessarily Disney news, but I did want to mention, is that the 2015 Epcot International Food and Wine Festival Dining Guide is completely finished. It took me way more weeks than I thought it was going to, but it's complete, and it does have like some fun challenges, printable checklists, tons and tons of full colored food photos in it. I've got some information about the different chefs and information about all of the artists that are performing for the Eat to the Beat concert. So that tells everybody a little bit about those bands. But yeah, it's available. And if you buy it online, you can receive a $2 discount by using the word food and wine all together at checkout. And the book will then just be $7.99, which isn't bad because it's almost like 200 pages. Okay, so that's everything for our appetizers, and on to our main dish, which last time we had talked a little bit about vegetarian vegan dining. So we had said then that we were going to cover that for this episode, and we are. So Jay, you want to talk about a few of wow, you've got a big list you made, didn't you?
I made a huge list, and I only actually covered the vegan stuff. But in actuality, there's only a few more vegetarian options if you include all the vegan list here. But like some items, you just because of the way that the dish is made, they can't make it vegan, even though it's made vegetarian. So I guess the main difference is the eggs and the cheese, or some other ingredients. Honestly, I mean I respect vegans for what they believe and all that, but I could never be vegan, and I'm just not as well versed in veganism, if you will, as far as what's allowed, what's not allowed. I mean, I know the basics of it, but when you come down to the nitty gritty, I mean, I'm not positive. But they did reading through and researching this topic, I did sort of became more educated in that realm. So I won't go into a lot of things here, like everything comprehensively, because it's just, I'm sure that people have better things to do than listen to me rattle off a list of items, dishes, that would probably last another hour. So
but
I'll just
we'll go ahead and put, I'll go ahead and put your list up there, and that way when people go through, they can click on that and it'll have details of all these things that people can find, and that way they can print it out, take it with them to the park or anything like that.
Right. Well, what I might do is I might make it a separate thing altogether, because the show notes, we only have so much room on our show notes. So
no, but I mean, we'll make it like a separate post.
Yeah, a separate post, exactly. So, but just kind of, I wanted to break down a few things, and some of this will overlap in like the first subject, which is snacks. I know a lot of the Disney World snacks are similar. For example, popcorn, and believe it or not, a lot of people don't know this, but their buttered popcorn is not really butter per se. It's actually a butter flavoring, and it is vegan. So that's pretty cool. And I never knew that as well. I mean, I was like, at first I was like, really? I was like, wow, that's kind of cool.
That I knew, but I don't remember how I found that out. Yeah, I know maybe I would stand next to somebody and they had asked once, but yeah, I knew that it was not actual butter, that it was the flavoring, and that it was vegan friendly.
Another one that surprised me as well was the Mickey shaped pretzels. I was like, wow, okay, that's cool. It's I don't know. When I think of traditional pretzels, those big pretzels, for some reason, I think they're made with lard and, that kind of thing, or some other oils that maybe are not necessarily vegan friendly, but apparently, the ingredients that they make this with are, so that's cool. That's good. It's a good option for people. And then there's also, of course, the main one. I mean, the sort of the crowning one is the Dole Whip. It's a lot of people. When I did research about the Dole Whip for another thing a long time ago, when I first encountered it, I was like, wow, it is vegan. I was like, and it's gluten free, and it's dairy free. I was like, really? Wow. I mean, because when you eat it, it's like it tastes like
it's just not sugar free.
Right, that's true. But if they did sugar free, that'd be like the ultimate snack in the entire world. I mean, people could have that all day long and with no guilt. So right, and then also the serving a serving of Dole Whip at Disneyland and or Disney World also has less than 100 calories, so that's cool as well.
That I did not know.
Right. I had the exact calorie count. I believe I'll have to look up my notes, but it's around 89 or something like that. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but it's below 100 for sure, but I don't know the exact number.
Yeah, I try to not look at those because it makes me not want to eat.
Right.
You're
well,
like,
this one you can, and it's
1,000. What? No, I can't eat that, and that ruins all the fun.
Right.
Like, I don't want to know, because then if I don't know, then I can eat it and enjoy it and not decide not to eat it, and no.
Sure. Well, if that's the case, then all the Disney World people, if you are counting calories, never, ever, ever get the pork shank. You will regret it. And don't look at the fat content, and don't look at the sodium, because you'll never want to have it ever. So anyhow.
There's that many calories to it?
It's 1,100 calories.
Wow.
Yeah. Just the pork shank. Yeah.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know the fat, because I know it's going to be high.
Oh yeah. And actually, I think it's around. I was going to say 1,100. I think it might actually be closer to 1,200. I'll have to do again my notes. I know it's around either 1,100 or 1,200 calories. Regardless, I know the turkey legs are at 900. So those are also not good for you. But sometimes you gotta indulge. I mean, just plus you're gonna be burning lots of calories walking around the park. So whatever.
You can easily walk 10 miles easy.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So.
And as we mentioned previously, our little spiel on cotton candy, that's also vegan at Disneyland. So that's cool. Or Disney World, both parks, I should say, both resorts.
But not sugar-free.
Right. Now, here's one actually that I know we have a lot of fruit carts around Disneyland Resort. Do they have a lot of fruit carts around Disney World as well? Because I don't remember that.
Some, but not a lot.
It's not as prevalent then as Disneyland. Okay.
No, because you have like 2 or 3 of them in each park.
Right. Exactly. And they're not small. They're pretty big places.
Yeah, the ones that I can think of in the parks they're good size, like plenty of things that you can choose from. Sliced. Actually, let's see. Magic Kingdom, I think, has 2. But like sliced watermelon, you can get pickles and whole fruit, dried fruit, lots of stuff like that.
Yeah, pineapple spears, strawberries. So all kinds of good stuff there. And then the other one, this one is interesting. I didn't realize it was vegan, but it's called Minnie's Bake Shop Chocolate and Vanilla Cookies with Cream Filling. And it comes in a box. And I know that all the boxed treats are made in Florida, and they just send them out to California to sell at Candy Palace and other places. But this one, I've seen it at the various locations around the resort, and I never knew that it was vegan. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of like a Oreo cookies with the vanilla and chocolate Oreo cookies, essentially, but they're vegan. So that's cool. I don't know if Oreos are vegan as well, but anyways, regardless, that's kind of a cool option for a snack.
Yeah. You know what I was surprised that I did not know is you would assume that a veggie burger would be vegan.
I know.
But they're not.
I know.
Like if you had a black bean burger, it's vegetarian, but not vegan.
Right, exactly. So, and again, here I'm going to go through the restaurant dining, and I'm not going to go through a comprehensive list. I'm just going to go through a few highlights here. The first one is Carnation Cafe along Main Street, USA, and they do have a vegan burger, and it's a house-made bean and vegetable patty with tomato, lettuce, pickled red onions, and a vegan chipotle mayonnaise on a multigrain roll. So that's kind of cool. Then the other one that you can get is the pancakes at Minnie and Friends. Actually, there's at Plaza Inn and also River Belle Terrace. You can ask for the pancakes to be prepared vegan style. And they use a mixture of, it's called Bob's Red Mill gluten-free pancake and waffle mix. And normally you're supposed to use that mix with dairy, milk, and eggs, I believe. And instead they mix it with water. So essentially it becomes, vegan friendly. But yeah, the Mickey Mouse pancakes at River Belle Terrace and also at the Plaza Inn, you can get those specially made. And then the other one, there's a lot of options at Rancho del Zocalo Restaurante. And also it's, since we're talking about Mexican food, you got also Cochina Cucamonga, which is at DCA, and they have similar items. They have like these soft tacos, a burrito, and enchilada. No, not the enchiladas, excuse me, because the enchiladas are cheese. But the tacos and the burritos, you get like fajita style vegetables essentially. And the difference between vegetarian and vegan in those two dishes is the fact that one has cheese, one doesn't. Then there's also a tostada salad, and again without the cheese. But I also found out that the Mexican rice at Rancho del Zocalo is vegan as well, because they don't use any animal stock, and it does come with cheese, so just make sure to order without cheese. The other one, it's kind of cool, and I mentioned this the last time we talked about the Big Thunder Ranch barbecue, the vegetable skewer. It is actually vegan, so I wasn't sure because of the barbecue sauce, but apparently it works. And then also the corn on the cob, and you get that without butter, so you're good to go. And then here's sort of like the catch to that: corn on the cob is only served at dinner, so just be aware they don't have corn on the cob for lunch. Then there's a whole bunch of options, for all throughout the park, but especially at New Orleans Square. The French Market, they have the New Orleans salad, and it's lettuce, yams, apples, lentils, and cherries with a vinaigrette. And you can order it without the pecans, so that'll make it vegan. And then they also have a vegetable jambalaya, which is kind of cool. Then there's at Cafe Orleans, they have the New Orleans vegetable ragu, and again without cheese. So again, I'm going to break these down like as vegans, but obviously as vegetarians, you just kind of say, when I say without cheese, it means it's vegan. But regardless, it can be vegetarian or vegan. They also have the Pommes Frites. Now, basically, you're looking at French fries, and normally the Pommes Frites come with the Parmesan cheese and the little Cajun remoulade on the side, and that that's what makes it so special. But if you're vegan or vegetarian, obviously you can't have certain things. So, anyways, regardless, you can get without the cheese or the remoulade sauce, and that'll work for vegans. At Blue Bayou, they have the portobello mushroom and couscous makchou. How do you pronounce that? M-A-Q-U-E. You're from you did.
I'm trying to find it.
Makchou, M-A-Q-U-E, and then C-H-O-U-X. You worked at a New Orleans style restaurant before, right?
Yeah.
I believe it's Makchou. Anyways, regardless.
That works.
And then over at DCA, just a few highlights. I won't go into the whole thing. Wine Country Tortoria, you could get the broccolini, aglio olio, and essentially it's a pasta that you have to request vegan pasta, but it's lightly tossed with spinach, arugula, tomatoes, garlic, chili flakes, and olive oil. So that's kind of cool. It looks kind of cool by itself. I'm not vegetarian or vegan, but I might get that and just get chicken breast on the side or something. So it sounds good. And then they have the Asian rice bowl with tofu over at Lucky Fortune Cookery. Just be careful of the sauces that you choose, because one of the sauces is not vegan, but you can again go to the show notes and investigate further into that. Paradise Pier, they have I've kind of found this interesting. They have something called rice noodles, and it's not something they normally serve, but if you can specially request it there, and it has no eggs, and the only downside of getting that specialty dish is the fact that you have to wait around while they prepare it fresh for you. So when you order it, it takes like 10-15 minutes. So whatever, it may be worth it, or it will be worth it for the people who are into that type of thing. Then they have the Mediterranean skewers with vegetables and tofu, and again, be careful of the sauces. There's a vegetarian chili con queso over at Cozy Cone Motels. Award winners, they have the vegetarian portobello mushroom Philly. And then schmoozies, basically you're looking at, all fruit smoothies. So, you're good to go there. And then for Downtown Disney and the resort hotels, you can go Downtown Disney. You'll have to do some more investigation into this, but essentially you're looking at Rainforest Cafe has a couple options. Naples Restaurante has a few options, and Tortilla Joe's also has some options as well. La Brea Baker Cafe, apparently the only thing that I found there besides, that is a breakfast item, which is the steel cut Irish oatmeal. And then, of course, you have Starbucks, and Starbucks, they have a lot of vegan options there. And I put a link there. You can, research it and, do what you got to do. At the hotels, Steakhouse 55, they've got, the vegan omelet at Storytellers Cafe, and all the places that are like sit down, like kind of higher end restaurants, the chefs are very accommodating. So you can always tell them, hey, I'm vegan or whatever, and then they'll go ahead and make accommodations for you. And that also another thing too is when you do like some of the character breakfasts and stuff like that, you can speak with the chef and they'll point out the various options that are available. And also, again, you can request special, the special pancakes, and they should be able to take care of that for you.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I always suggest for anybody who has a special diet. If it's something small like, oh, I'm allergic to blue cheese, well, that's something real, easy to work around when it comes to restaurants. But something like somebody who's on a low carb diet, not eating anything white, or gluten-free, vegan, those things. I always recommend when you get there, ask to speak to the manager or the chef, and they'll come by and talk to you. You just tell them specifically, like, these are what my restrictions are. What do you have that on this menu that can accommodate me, or do you have a specific menu? Because some places do have a special vegan menu. And yeah, because these are so many of the things are not are made fresh, that makes it a lot easier for them to be, if you talk to them, to be able to work out those kinds of things.
So yeah, did you want to go over what Disney World stuff?
Yeah,
cool.
Let's see. So Disney World has a lot of places that you can eat. And some of them, of course, are better than others. And pretty much every place has something that can be, made vegan or is on the menu that's vegetarian that they can, swap something out. But some of them have excellent menus for vegans. One of them is Chico. They have a vegetarian menu and a vegan menu that you can specifically ask for, and they'll give that to you and you can order from that. That restaurant makes it very easy, as well as Boma, which is located right next to them. Both of them are over at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, but they are, have very friendly options there. Another place that I highly recommend is Sunshine Seasons in Epcot. It's in the Future World part, but they've got a variety of things like tabbouleh pinwheel. They've got they have a section that even has like vegetarian entrees, so it'll have like some hummus and some tabbouleh, some couscous with some pita bread and things like that. They have a veggie roll, sushi that is also vegan. They've got some wraps there, salads, a variety of things like that you can just go in and go to a certain section in it, look at those, or you can walk up and order something and be like, can this be made vegan, or is it vegan? It says vegetarian. And I think part of what makes it so easy to work with when it comes to Disney World is that there's so many people that travel from other countries that come in and do have very specific diets, whether it's something that's kosher. I mean, there's restaurants that they have the grill specifically for kosher foods, that they have to be a little more accommodating than pretty much any other places are. And some of the other, let's talk about some of the other resorts. Vegan, they have vegan waffles, like you said. A lot of times all you have to do is just ask them, do you have the vegan waffles, and they can make those for you. They have let's see what else. They have couscous, some couscous. There's also some quinoa dishes that are very vegan friendly. Sanaa over at Animal Kingdom, they've got several items there that are vegan friendly. Landscape of Flavors, they've got a nice salad selection there, and you can make salads, and they've got like tons and tons of items to choose from. Just don't add the cheese to it. Let's see, I'm trying to think what else. California Grill, they have vegan items, including like ratatouille, risotto. They've got flatbread, that all those can be made vegan. The Wave of American Flavors has a curry vegetarian stew that is also vegan. Let's see. Trails End, which is a buffet. They've got things like tofu, nachos. They've got, if you ask, they can make you, they've got one chef who can even make multi-course vegan meals for people. Let's see, what else is some of my favorite places? Surprisingly, Beer Garden has a lot of vegetarian and vegan items, because even though they have meat is also served separately. It's not like, where Chinese, it's kind of like you've got it mixed in with all your vegetables. Everything's like veggie, meat, potato, bread, and they've got like a tomato salad. There's a green bean salad, beet salad, cabbage. They've got fresh pickles. There's breads, pretzels, potato wedges. You have rice with peas, sauteed vegetables. The only thing I would ask is how they make the red cabbage. Some places make it with honey. Honey, others make it with sugar. I'm trying to put sugar and honey together, and now I get sunny. What is wrong with this? We're making it words tonight.
There you go. Exactly.
Oh gosh. Via Napoli can do a veggie pizza without cheese for you. They've got salads. There's spaghetti marinara. All those are vegan friendly. I think Epcot's a really good place for a lot of those options, because you've got like Morocco. There's a lot of like vegan and vegetarian dishes that within that culture. So you can get like rice stuffed grape leaves. They have vegetarian platters. So those I think are all good choices. The only thing is the Food and Wine Festival is not vegan friendly. There's hardly anything on the menu that doesn't contain cheese or honey or something that makes it not vegan, unfortunately. But back to where you were saying, talking about the carts, Africa has a really nice area over there in Animal Kingdom, and they've got a big marketplace with the pickles and the spears and a variety of like mixed fruits together, carrot, celery, hummus, a lot of things like that make great snacks. And you can pick a variety of those things and make yourself a little meal. Over at I think it's in the Asia Yeah, I think it's in the Asia section, right before you head into where it turns into Africa. There's a place called Mr. Kamal's, and it actually is a vegetarian quick service, and they do have a lot of vegan items there as well. Um, I think they've got like 2 places in there that deal with special diets. Like Animal Kingdom's really good about that. I think Tusker House is another excellent place that has a lot of vegetarian and vegan dishes. Let's see, Aaron McKenna's bakery, Baby Cakes Bakery, has most of their cupcakes and things are vegan. They're actually great for anybody who has, you can get sugar-free, gluten-free, soy-free, vegan. I mean, all those kinds of things is how they have their cupcakes. They've got cookies. What else do they have? I'm forgetting something. Oh, they have those little sandwiches. You know, you have the 2 little cookies with like the frosting in the middle. They've got those as well there. Some biscuits are on the menu. So that's a great place for if you're looking for something sweet, to go there and grab something. So those are the places that off the top of my head that I can think of that
That's
have.
pretty, you had a lot off the top of your head. So I had to write it all down because I just don't know, it's like not into that so much. But it's good though. I especially doing the food tour, and when I do get somebody that is a vegetarian or vegan, then I will have a more I guess in-depth knowledge of what they can and can't have. So that's good. So
the one of the tips that I have is when making a reservation, I believe it only gives you vegetarian option on the website, but you can always contact Disney directly and let them know, hey, I'm vegan. And ask them, is this vegan friendly? Can they accommodate me? Do you have a special vegan menu? Because sometimes it's hard to find that. You have to actually ask each individual restaurant if they have that. And, as I mentioned before, there's some restaurants that are like perfect for special diets, but some, like Le Cellier is a steakhouse. And if, you're with a whole bunch of carnivores and you're a vegan, that can make it a little difficult. But, you can always ask, because I know they do have, pretty much every restaurant has at least one vegetarian dish. Even those places that are steakhouse, they try to have, in addition to whatever it's known for, whether it's a seafood restaurant or steakhouse, you normally have a chicken dish, you normally have a pasta and a vegetarian dish to try and accommodate those who don't like that specific type of food. But Disney also has it where you can contact their special dietary division and submit to them what your recommend doing it 2 weeks out, but send them what your dietary restrictions are, and they work with you and with the restaurants to accommodate all of those before you get there, so it makes it easy breezy.
Yeah, that's cool. That's actually a good idea. I think it's better to call in for reservations if you have these special diet requirements, because that way you can talk to an actual cast member and then they can make notes. Whereas if you book it online, they do have like a thing for disability, but not really for dietary restrictions. So they need to incorporate that, into their online system.
Yours doesn't have where you
can. No, not for Disneyland. No.
Okay.
And then also, what I was going to say, also, some people, they insist on getting a list of ingredients, but they don't have that available. They don't make that available. But, definitely if you go to a restaurant, you want to find out, what's going on in, with a particular dish, you can ask a cast member to speak with the chef, and then usually the chef will know, what goes into what, or they should know.
Yeah.
And you'd hope, right? And so, they could tell you if it contains, egg or dairy or whatever. So that's, yeah, definitely.
The other thing that I recommend is, Disney World, if you're going there, you're going to be spending, it's not like you're going there for a day or two. You're going to be spending several days there. And it's massive. It's not, you can't just like walk out of the parks and walk across the street and go to a convenience store and pick up, soy milk and a variety of things like that are friendly to your diet. So one thing I recommend is for Disney World, there are some places. My favorite is Garden Grocers, but you can go online, order your foods and things like that. They have a wide variety. I mean, thousands of menu items. Order them from there, and they deliver directly to your hotel. So everything, you say, hey, I'm getting there this day. They will have it delivered to you there. And that way you have the things you need. So if you want some snacks that you can throw in your backpack, little things to munch on when you're hungry, rather than having to go and try and find something like that in one of the quick service places. You can just take some of those with you and throw them in your bag for the day. I mean, that's what Aljon and I do. We always take some snacks. We'll get some like breakfast bars, always bottles of water, because I drink so much water. Like right now, I'm drinking water. But we make sure we have bottles of water and we have little things to snack on, so that, say you're waiting in line and you're hungry, but dinner's in 2 hours, so you don't want to stop and have a meal. You just want something to snack on. That's good. And it makes it easy since they deliver to your resort, rather than taxis are really expensive. I don't know about over near Disneyland, but if you call for a taxi at Disney World, they can take you 2 miles and it costs you $20.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because we stayed at Pop Century, and it's literally, you go out of the resort, you make a right as you leave the resort. The first light you come to, you make a left, and then at the next light, which is like maybe 0.1 miles down the road, maybe 0.2, that's the left, and you're at Hollywood Studios. We paid $20 to go that little distance.
Wow, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have like Uber or what's the other one with the little pink mustache?
Lyft.
Yeah,
they do, but I don't know what. I haven't used it there. When I used the taxi, it was about it was a little over 2 years ago, because it was during Star Wars weekends.
Oh, okay.
And we were trying to get to the park before, the buses started running. It was like 6 a.m. so that we could get in line and meet some of the celebrities we wanted. And when that happened, Lyft and Uber were not, nobody really had heard anything about them. So we took a taxi. I don't know what Uber charges, but I do know, at least in Nashville here, that on the weekends and in the evenings, like the rates in our downtown can be as much as 4 times the normal rate.
Right.
So I don't know what they're going to charge, since Disney's always tourists. I haven't looked into that before, but it could be expensive to go from, your hotel to, I think the closest place is probably Publix.
Yeah. That's cool. So I think we covered it pretty well. What do you think?
I think so too.
Awesome. So we'll go on to our dessert. Let's wrap this baby up.
Sounds like a plan.
Cool. Do you want me to do my tip, or you do your tip?
I could do my tip. That's fine.
Sure.
Mine's pretty easy.
All right.
Mine is to stay hydrated, and it can get expensive if you're always buying bottles of water. You're buying stuff like Coke, coffee. After a while, all that adds up. But one of the things you can do to cut costs up, because you don't want to get dehydrated. There's nothing that makes your vacation worse the getting sick because you didn't stay hydrated. So you go to any of the quick service locations, they're happy to give you a free cup of water. And with you, you know, go to the grocery store, pick up something like Mio, Crystal Light, the Starbucks Via, and you just put that in your water. And that way you're not just drinking straight water all day. You are getting something that has a little bit of flavor, and it's going to save you some money in the long run.
Cool. That's definitely a good idea. I like that little suggestion with the Mio, because I suggest those dry packets, and they can be a little bit difficult, whereas the Mio, you just kind of pop it out and squirt it in and you're good to go.
Well, I was glad when Crystal Light started making those liquid ones too. You just you do have to be careful if it's red.
Yeah, that's true.
Because red stains things. So if you have little ones and you pick up something that's red, you might want to put that in your kid's drink rather than let them do it, because they might turn their hands and their clothes red. And I'll tell you, if you get that in your hands, it takes a good day to get rid of that red stain.
Yeah. So my tip has to do with the announcement of Star Wars Land from the D23 Expo. This is, you're like, well, what's that have to do with food? Well, the fact is they're going to be closing down the Big Thunder Ranch area. I know, just where are the violins when you need them?
Right.
But, part of that obviously is Big Thunder Ranch barbecue, and that is just a real shame in my opinion. I think it's one of the best places to eat. It's the ambiance, the food quality is great, the value is great. You know, it's one of my favorite places to eat at Disneyland Resort, and unfortunately it will be closing. There's no official announcement from Disneyland regarding the exact date, but from what you told me and other people have told me, January 11th, 2016 looks to be the date of closure. Is that right?
As far as I know, yeah. Okay. That's a shame. I'm so bummed about that.
I know. I'm doing what I can to not shed a tear right now. But so my tip is number one, make sure to visit before it closes. If you've never been there, do yourself a favor and go. It's really a wonderful experience, and you'll thank me for it later. Number two, when you do go, bring a couple of small containers. And the reason why I tell you that is because this is an all-you-can-eat establishment, but unlike most all-you-can-eat places, you can actually take some food home. And that includes some ribs, some chicken, and sausage if you go for dinner. So definitely, now here's the thing. Technically, you're not supposed to take food home, but, cast members, they don't really care. I mean, they kind of look the other way, or they actually don't even say anything at all, because I've done it a few times. And plus the fact it's going to be closing. So do you really think they're going to care all that much? Just they'll be like, oh, whatever, I mean, the place is closing anyways, who cares? But yeah, so definitely take some containers with you. They do not provide takeout containers. So, if you go there and you're like, oh shoot, darn it, I forgot my containers. Well, then you're basically out of luck. So yeah, definitely take some containers. The only downside of taking food, especially if you go for lunch, is that you have to store it somewhere, right? So either you're going to have it in your backpack on a hot summer day, or even a hot fall day. It's not going to be the most pleasant smell, well, actually it's going to be a pleasant smell, but not when it's, kind of permeating everything else inside your backpack. And then also you can put it in a storage locker. But again, it's whatever you're putting in there with it is going to get stinky, with barbecue as well. So, bear that in mind.
Yeah. If you're going to do that, you definitely would want to bring a cooler with you so that you can keep the temperature from being overly hot. Because, I mean, after 2 hours, you really shouldn't eat anything that's been sitting out. So last thing you want to do is keep it, do it for lunch and then late at night eat it and end up with food poisoning. That's not, no.
Well, here's the thing. I've done it several times, and I've had it in the storage locker until the evening, and we ate it, the following days, and there was no problem. Because, I mean, it's one thing if it's raw chicken, because obviously you get salmonella and all kinds of other funky things going on. But when it's cooked chicken or cooked ribs, it actually it holds up very well. Just don't take home, don't take the coleslaw. The cornbread should be okay. The beans, honestly, the beans aren't all that spectacular. So, I mean, Bush's baked beans are better in my opinion. So, I wouldn't even bother taking any beans home. Just waste valuable container space, where you can put a rib instead of beans, and, definitely put the ribs in there. So.
Yeah. See, I get food poisoning easily, and I've had food poisoning twice from chicken in a restaurant that hadn't been kept at the right temperature.
Okay. Well, I guess if you decide to
I err on the side of caution.
Sure. If you're one of those people that are super worried about that, then, disregard my second tip and just go to Big Thunder Ranch Barbecue anyways.
That's like Aljon. He's like, do you think this is okay? It's been, this has been sitting out for a while. I'm like, your mom used to leave food out overnight and you would eat it and you didn't die from it or get sick from it. I think your system is okay. I'm like, mine, on the other hand, it's not happening. Like, yeah, I had food poisoning at Disney once, and it was
that's not good.
3 days of it too.
Yikes.
That was not fun. So, yeah, so I err on the side of caution. I think you pretty much know whether or not you can handle food for how long it's been sitting out. Everybody takes some food from the restaurants and stuff at home. So I think that's all we have today.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's all. I mean, that was a lot. I think we covered a whole lot of stuff here today. So yeah, it was a good show.
Okay, so that is our meal for you. And Jay, tell everyone where they can find you.
On Twitter, you can find me at Magical Food Tour, magicalfoodtour.com online, and also Facebook and all the other Instagram, so forth and so on. Everything's Magical Food Tour. Also, if you're into Disneyland and you want to hear about the latest news and topics specifically regarding Disneyland, you can check me out on the Diz Geek podcast, and that can be found at dizgeek.com, and then on Twitter it's at Diz Geek Podcast.
As far as myself, you can find me at diningatdisney.com, where you can also read Jay's articles as well. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Periscope. It's going to be Dining at Disney. YouTube is the Dining at Disney. And we are brought to you by the Weeby Geeks Network. And you can download and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. And give us a 5-star rating and review. You can also email us at podcast@diningatdisney.com. We'd love to hear from you. Share some of your dining experiences. Maybe you're vegan or vegetarian. You've got some great tips for people. Go ahead, hit us up with us. We'd love to read them on the show. Also, if you enjoy Disney and food and you're an annual pass holder at Disneyland or Disney World, and you enjoy writing and taking photos, we are looking for additional writers right now. So feel free to email us at info@diningatdisney.com, and we can see if we can work together, because we'd love to have some more writers, and there's always new things going on. And unfortunately, Jay and I can't clone ourselves. So
if only.
Oh, I know, right? Well, thanks for listening, and bon appetit.